It's the most important thing you can build for your workshop, a workbench. There are an infinite number of ways you can build a workbench. If you've been reading my blog this entire week, you've seen all sorts of examples of some great workbenches. To me, a workbench only needs two things. It needs to be really sturdy and it needs to take a lot of abuse. In my workshop, I have 4 workbenches that are all made with the same basic construction. They're all made with 2x4s that are laminated together to create 4x4 side post legs. And I've laminated together plywood, usually 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood to give it a really sturdy top. And while this 2x4 construction system isn't that pretty, it's highly customizable. All of my workbenches are different. This one, I've put drawers in it to hold sandpaper and other things. I keep some various types of wood under here. On this one, I've set up 3 drawers, and later on I went back and installed another drawer over here. And this is my absolute most basic workbench, and it's just to hold my lathe and my scroll saw. But my absolute favorite workbench is this behemoth. It's a 4-foot by 8-foot workbench. I call it an island because it sits in the middle of my shop. That way I can access all 4 sides to it. It has plenty of room for my benchtop tools, which I can take off of there if I need to and just use it as an enormous assembly table. And I've also built it at the same height as my table saw. More and more, I've been using my outside area here as kind of an assembly area and a finishing area. And all I've been using is just a couple of sawhorses I made and just, throw down a board, whatever I happen to have handy. What I would like to do is have a dedicated workbench that I can roll out here and really just keep it out here almost all the time, unless it rains, of course, and I'll roll it back in. And I want it to be the same height as my tailgate here on the truck, so that I can lay a board across there and cut it if I need to. I've got a bunch of these old 2x4s that are reclaimed from a remodeling job I was helping my neighbor out with, and they're really rough. There's a lot of bad spots on them, but I'm going to try to use as much of those as I can. I also picked up 4 more brand new 2x4s just to make sure I have enough. So these are going to be my 4 legs, and I've cut them oversized, and I'll cut them down to the exact length after I glue them and screw them together. So these are going to be the 2 sides to the workbench. Now, what I did is I cut both of the legs down to their length, and I've cut these stretchers out to their length. In my case, I'm just going to make these 16 inches wide. And another thing I've done is I just screwed in this board into my workbench so that I can butt this all up here, line it up, then I can glue these down and screw them into place. And it's one of the reasons why I like a workbench like this, is because I can just screw stuff right into it. I've cut 4 of these stretchers, and of course they'll go on each side here, here, and then down below. So to assemble this, I'm just going to tip each of these on their sides. Then I can glue and screw in these. While I'm waiting for that glue to dry, I cut out 2 cross braces that I will install right in the middle of these rails. I'm going to make the top now, and what I'm going to do is use 2 pieces of plywood and just laminate them together. A lot of glue and screws. cut out 2 more plywood panels that I've notched out the corners so that I can use it as a shelf. Now I've got the workbench upside down so I can install the casters. And what I'm going to use are 2 of these locking type of casters. Those will both go on one side, and then 2 of these just regular non-locking casters on the back. And there's the completed workbench. This is not a very pretty workbench, but it's really strong. It'll last me for years, and well, it was really cheap to make. Now I wanted to show you a whole bunch of pictures of workbenches that people have sent me throughout the week to give you some more ideas of things that you might want to include on your own workbench. The sky's the limit on them, guys. I'll talk to you later.